speaking of technology of the EV vehicle, as I mentioned, so one of my main concerns is the battery itself. Obviously, you still have to rely on, battery cells to power up your vehicles, and typically it's placed beneath the vehicle, so you need lots of battery cells to be charged up, and depending on the mileage that you can provide. So having more battery cells will provide more distance, but the problem is the weight issue here, and obviously the more weight, more drag, and then it would eat up more of your battery supply, and how you charge it quickly and safely and efficiently is the dilemma here. Now, according to electric.com, Panasonic has unveiled its latest battery cell for Tesla, the 4680, which is, they're going to produce it by next year in time. So as you can clearly see here, it's a pretty hefty battery cell here, and obviously with a bigger battery cell, more capacity, more storage. Hopefully, it could produce more mileage in terms of driving distance, and but the downside is the concern is still the safety factor, and as we've seen in many articles, videos in previous past, that the it's not yet fully, I wouldn't say fully formed, but it's not yet fully perfected, the product itself, because the while charging it, it could go array and catch fire, which is not a great thing if you combine battery cell and fire, which could explode. But nonetheless, but if they can reach to the point that that it can be safe to harness the capability of a battery cell like Panasonic has developed, would be tremendous here. And what's interesting here, that the battery cell's potential is, even though it has bigger capacity, could be potentially cheaper here. So is it because of the materials that they're using here, or some sort of technology that they've incorporated here? That's why innovation is so important in many instances, until we reach several iterations of innovation to make it more powerful, bigger storage, longer lasting, and safe to use, obviously over a long period. And as you can imagine, battery is not conducive for severe changes of weather, whether it's cold temperature or warm temperature, and it would deteriorate quickly. So if we can find a way to maintain or even enhance the quality or reliability of those batteries, would do wonders for the adoption of people considering whether I should buy it. And that's one of my main concerns here. And especially in our country here, where it tends to flood more often than not, will it be weatherproof or waterproof or underwaterproof, so to speak? Because if that's not the case, then it would be impractical to have a Tesla vehicle on our roads here, on and seeing it that it cannot even handle those conditions anyway. And as mentioned here, so it could be cheaper, efficient, and longer lasting or longer range with a smaller battery pack. So meaning you need less to get the same result, or even more result, or better result, so to speak. So obviously Tesla has been partnering with several companies to be able to boost its production, which is obviously the demand has been ongoing, as we've been discussing in the previous articles earlier. So partnering with battery suppliers is key to their own production, so it can go on smoothly, and with the introduction of their latest, I think is it the Tesla Plaid, and then the much anticipated Cybertruck, which has been delayed for next year already. So obviously there is a demand for their products, but the question here is, will they be able to meet the demands and provide the best product that Elon Musk is striving for, whether exaggerated or not. But a car itself is different from the feature that they're trying to market is another aspect that I don't want to get into right now. Anyway, so the question here is, for Panasonic's battery unit, you have Kazuo Tadanobu. He mentions that the cell is has 5 times more capacity, which I think is remarkable here. So how are they able to do it? Kudos for their development and research team here, and obviously improving on it and scaling the business so that it becomes more cheaper would be tremendous here. Imagine if all car manufacturers were to adopt Panasonic's battery capability here, and obviously everybody benefits here. So question is, does Panasonic have a, what do you call this, a contract that they can only sell it to Tesla for that battery, or they can sell it to other car manufacturers here? And according to Tesla, they confirmed that it plans to deliver its first vehicle with the new battery, the 4680, as mentioned, sometime next year here. And it's not just Panasonic who are producing battery packs here. You also have LG, Samsung, and CATL. Now, if you heard in my previous live stream, not live stream, in the previous business update, battery is a very key component, and as you can see that even Apple is struggling to find a partner that can supply them the battery, even though they're still in the, I don't know if they're still in the designing stage, or they have a prototype already that you could say that they could manufacture in the next year or a few years in the future here. But either way, so the battery is a big component for any device, especially technological device, whether it's a smartphone, tablet, laptop, in this case battery. We are so dependent on it that, for a smartphone, if you're on a smartphone, you need a charger everywhere you go. So you need it to get plugged in. But for a vehicle, that's very limiting. So even if what Tesla is doing is tremendous, having tens of thousands of chargers nationwide in the United States, but outside of those countries, like in China or in Europe, obviously limited access to the charging station could be could be a limiting factor for why people are still apprehensive, unless they can make it so like it's just like any gas station, where in every corner, not just every corner, but practically every corner that you go into, you can see a gas station, so you can easily fill up and then move on to your business. If we can reach that point, I think it would be difficult or take longer before we can even see more people, buying or adopting electric vehicles, let alone Tesla vehicles here.